This week saw the final launch of the SpaceX Starship as we know it, and it's pretty hard to imagine a more perfect send-off for the first era of Starbase.
The biggest story of the day is actually the promise of what will come next. But first, let's take a look at Flight 11, which was the closest thing to perfection that a Starship test has ever offered us. All that begins with a previously flown Super Heavy booster. This is the same rocket we saw launch on Flight 8 in March 2025.
The booster was returned to the Star Factory for some cleanup and refurbishing, which included replacing some of the engines.
By now, everyone knows what a successful Starship launch looks like, and this one was no different. This time around, SpaceX did have a new experiment for their booster landing burn. Just like the two previous flights, this one was not going to be a tower catch. Meanwhile, in space, the Starship is making its way flawlessly into a suborbital trajectory around the globe. At around T plus 58 minutes into flight and at an altitude of 50 kilometers, Starship begins its first planned. Then, just above the ground, the ship needs to make a final twist maneuver to align itself with the tower and catch arms. We can... Even with all of that steering and changing in direction, Now, that is the last time that a Starship launch will ever look like that. Flight 12 is where the new chapter begins.
T-minus 10 seconds.
Roger that. Switching to internal power.
Main engine ignition confirmed. We have liftoff.
The next iteration of the Super Heavy booster is going to bring a totally new look and a lot more power to the table. Starting at the base of the new engine. Of course, the new engines come with more power, an increase from 230 tons of thrust up to 280 tons. But more importantly, basically every hose and wire from V2 has been brought inside the engine casing. This is not only easier to build, but it's also going to be more reliable. Moving up the booster, the overall length is going to be stretched out a bit to accommodate larger fuel tanks to feed those new engines.
The first change you probably notice is that we've gone from 4 grid fins down to 3, and they've repositioned the remaining fins into this T-shaped pattern.
To accomplish that, each grid fin has been beefed up by around 50% to make them bigger and stronger than before. We know that deleting parts is Elon Musk's favorite design philosophy, so now we're going to find out whether they end up having to put it back or not. Then above the grid fins is something totally new for the Super Heavy, an integrated hot stage connection for every launch since Flight 2. Now, the current V2 ship is probably best known for having some reliability issues. Most of them experience a rapid With all of that combined, this new Starship Super Heavy is going to be capable of deploying somewhere between 100 and 150 tons. And speaking to that reusability, SpaceX gave us the most detailed preview yet of what an orbital docking and fuel transfer is going to look like. The exterior of V3 ship is going to be fitted with new docking adapters on the backside opposite the heat shield, and then it looks like there will be two kinds of Starship. Then after making that connection, the two ships are going to transfer liquid fuel between them, which will allow the receiving ship to fly husks. SpaceX has said that this new Starship V3 is not the final design, but it will be the one that first lands on the Moon and Mars, and then supporting all of this will be a new and improved Starship launch pad and catch tower, often referred to as Stage 0. Flight 11 will be the final launch from Tower 1, and it will be the last time that SpaceX uses their upside-down showerhead flame diverter. Tower 2 has a more traditional flame trench and water deluge system at its base, the same as what you'd see underneath the Falcon 9. That gives us a lot to look forward to, which is great news. It means that the next chapter for Starship will bring new and exciting times.